Welcome in to kick off the tip off with Noah and Gage. Gonna cover a little bit of the NBA today, something we haven't hit on. Gonna speak on the Lakers and the Luka action we've seen recently. He's been active finally from that calf strain. Played in the last, I think, 5 or 6 games. I think he's played in. So just really interesting to see everything that happened during the trade deadline, and then what people thought the Lakers were going to be. Gage, what are your thoughts on it here?
Yeah, the fact that you and I are speaking about NBA means something because this year has been absolutely abysmal for NBA as far as TV ratings and just product on the court. And we could spend 30 minutes just talking about that of kind of the NBA's problems. But the fact that you and I are talking about NBA and one team specifically means that something crazy is happening. And that is the LA Lakers, Noah, who in this past month of February went 10-2. And in the back of my mind, I've been thinking all year about how far this team has come, right? You think back to the beginning of the year, Noah, they had that the head coaching hire where they fired Darvin Ham, a fresh face comes in, Dan Hurley turns down the job, and they hire LeBron's podcast partner, JJ Redick, who knows, maybe you and I someday when you're like GM of the Titans or something, maybe you'll hire me to be head coach, something of that sorts. But yeah, they bring in JJ Redick, and I think even at the time of that hire, a lot of people were kind of eyebrows raised, like, hold on, JJ Redick is going to be the head coach. No prior head coaching experience is going to come in and coach the LA Lakers. And a lot of buzz and talk about that to start with. But you look at things now, Noah, like I said, they're coming off that 10-2 month in February. Obviously a crazy ordeal where they acquired Luka Doncic on February 2nd, trading away AD, that whole thing. But as of right now, the way that they look, Noah, I truly believe that they are legit NBA final contenders. I really do believe that. You look at their past few games here, right? They're coming off a unbelievable weekend where they beat I'm sorry, not weekend, but a good stretch of games. They went away to Denver and won, then came back home for a 3-game stretch, beat Dallas, beat Minnesota, beat Clippers. And I'm watching these games, and I'm thinking to myself, this team looks good, man. All around this team looks good. Before I kind of go into to what I think some of their success looks like, what are you seeing? I know you're kind of up and down about the NBA, but the fact that even you were tuning into some games says something.
Yeah, I actually just watched them play the Clippers last night. Haven't watched Harden play other than highlights recently for a long time, so I didn't watch him play. But just looking at the Lakers, they looked very good. Luka and LeBron, you kind of thought, man, how's this going to work? Two ball dominant guys who enjoy. I think LeBron and Luka both have set aside what we thought them to be as ball dominant players. Both are playing off ball, and they're both kind of letting each other, like, this guy, he gets hot, we're gonna feed LeBron. Okay, Luka's hot, we're gonna feed Luka. And there's no back and forth. At the end of the day, this team just looks like they want to win. Watching them play last night, and I actually watched them play the Nuggets the other day, and it was really interesting to see how they guarded Jokic. And I think that's what makes me kind of interested to see what happens in this Western Conference playoff action we got here coming in, I think, a month and a half, something like that.
It'd be quick, yeah.
So just interesting to see what will come with that, because this was a pretty good addition for the Lakers, and I don't think this sets them farther back. I don't think this set them as far back without gaining the center like they wanted in the before the trade
Mark
deadline.
Williams deal.
Yeah, so I just really interesting to see how everything's coming together, and I think that's a thing you hit on there. I don't think Dan Hurley could have managed LeBron and Luka, the personalities that you have on this thing. I don't think there was a better guy for the job than JJ. We all know they didn't think they were going to get Luka right at the beginning of the year when they hired JJ, but I think JJ does a very good job. Not saying that he's the best coach in the NBA, but just managing his players, managing personalities, and making sure everybody, kind of feels heard. I think that's what he does, and that's what JJ provides.
Yeah, even pre-Luka, right? I'm watching them play, and it's like some of these sets I'm seeing, like JJ Redick has some incredible schemes in terms of plays and sets that they runs, and it's really getting involved, everybody. And the matter of the Luka trade, right, was they had to go get somebody who was going to be able to, I don't want to say take the load off of LeBron, but help manage with him, another superstar. Can be ball dominant at times. And then, you just look down this roster right, Noah. I think a key success for them this year has been the emergence of Austin Reeves. Preseason, I did not think Austin Reeves was going to look and play the way he has, but as of today, we're sitting at he's averaging 19 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists as a third option. Noah, his development has been so good for them as a team. Add on the fact you go out, you trade for Luka. There's really not much to say about that. True superstar. When it comes down to the last shot, it's him and LeBron. Take your pick. The thing, and it feels so cliche to talk about this, right? But can we talk about how good LeBron James has been this year? This guy is 40 something, Noah. Let me get his, he is literally 40 on the dot. 25 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. And I think for so long we've tried to push this narrative of, well, he's at that age. He's way past that age. It's time, man. Let's give these younger guys a look. Jason Tatum, there was buzz when Tatum won his ring. It was like Tatum's better than LeBron. Maybe Giannis when he got his, this and that. This year, right now, Noah, outside of Jokic, LeBron might be the second best player in the NBA, Noah. And I would say maybe 3. I would maybe throw Shea up there in the 2 spot behind Jokic. But when he is playing at this elite level at age 40, it's what we're seeing is just it's never been seen before. In the NFL world, yes, you had Tom Brady who was doing it at a high level at that age, but you have to think that the NFL side of things, you're gearing up all week to play one game. You're playing your regular season, including playoffs, if you make it to the Super Bowl, roughly around 18, 19 games or whatever it is. We're talking NBA. No, this guy is playing back-to-backs, doing crazy things at his age.
I think that's a thing, too. I actually heard a stat yesterday. I forget who was commentating that game between the Lakers and the Clippers, but I believe it was 50. He has, since turning age 40, I think he shoots like 40% from 3. It's just the way he's adapted his game to understanding that, hey, maybe I'm not as athletic as I once was. Still, I mean, he throws down some crazy dunks here and there that we see. Obviously, you get some blocks here and there that you're like, man, I don't know how many other people in the NBA could do that. But he definitely realized, he understood that for him to play further, longer than a lot of these other guys, he had to create that jump shot, be able to play off the ball, be able to hit a set jump shot, not just rely on the athleticism, and that's what's going to allow him to play. I mean, not saying he doesn't hang it up in 2 years, 3 years, but as long as he's shooting the ball well, just his knowledge on the basketball court, getting people in the right spots, and him himself being in the right spots, that's what allows LeBron James to play as long as he has, and that's why I don't think you see a lot of problem with these other superstars playing with him, because he knows when to defer, and he also knows, like, okay, this is my game. Last night, at the beginning of the game, I thought they were playing Luka very well. They were guarding him kind of tough. I think LeBron had like 15, 16 points in the first quarter just off mid-range jimmies and a couple threes. Like, it was just really interesting to see how LeBron kind of changed his game, because I remember when I was a real big fan in the NBA was Derrick Rose in Chicago, and I remember Chicago always having to play the Cavs or the Heat, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, when is LeBron going to leave? I mean, that's when, what? I think I was in middle school at that time, so 10, 15 years ago, and we're still talking about the same damn guy. Like, how do you stop him? How do you do this?
Well, I saw today that LeBron's career has outlived Skype, Noah. Skype has shut down on the internet, and LeBron has surpassed Skype's career. So that kind of speaks volumes to what we're seeing. But go ahead.
I think as far as the Western Conference, obviously everything's going to go through Oklahoma City. As of now, you have the Nuggets that are also a 3 seed. I think they're 3 or 2 now. Just looking at the playoff seeding as of now, and obviously we've got a month and a half, there could be a lot of things that change. The Western Conference up there at the top is pretty close, right? So you could see the Lakers, I think they're 4 or 5, I think 5 seed, I think they were last night when I was looking. You could see them make a push for that top 3 spot right in there, especially if they figure out how to deal with these Nuggets. Nuggets are the team, even though the Thunder have the best records, Nuggets are definitely the team you have to go through in the West to get to the championship. So if they can figure out a way, and they, like I said, they guarded Jokic well the other night. So looking into that, I think there is a chance that they contend for the Western Conference Finals. The thing is, I mean, the bad thing in the Western Conference, the two best players, the two top players in the NBA, in my opinion, as of now, you got to go through Jokic, you got to go through Shea.
I agree. And like you mentioned, currently they are sitting at the 4 seed. It is Oklahoma City 1, Denver 2, Memphis 3, and then, of course, the Lakers at 4. 10.5 games back from Oklahoma City with a dominant 48-11 record. But what you kind of said about the defensive portion of things, right? So outside of their star power of Luka, LeBron, and then kind of their secondary option of Austin Reeves, I don't want to say additions, but the play of Jared Vanderbilt and Dorian Finney-Smith, who they also traded, they got in that trade when they got rid of D'Lo. Those guys are elite defenders, and when they're on the floor together with a LeBron, Luka, or AR, a combo of those three, they match up extremely well. And I hated to see the Mark Williams trade fall through because Mark Williams is an electric young big man who doesn't get enough praise because nobody watches the Hornets play. They're 4-106 this year, and LaMelo Ball is out for his 6th time this year with an ankle injury. So nobody really knows how good he was. But I can tell you this: if that trade were to go through, which I thought it should have, I don't really know what happened as far as the physical side of things. We would have been talking about a real fleece here because the level of play from Mark Williams and Dalton Knight, whatever, from Tennessee there, it would have been night and day in terms of the difference that Mark Williams be providing. They are winning some crucial games here with Jackson Hayes and Alex Len as their 2 center options, Noah. No offense to Jackson Hayes, but he was in the media a couple weeks ago for some bad things. But he's not a starting caliber NBA center. But the way that JJ Redick has been using him, it makes him look serviceable, and that's why I say if it were Mark Williams in that position, they could be in a really, really good spot. But that's not the case, and they proceed with things. I'll let you go after I say this. The key to their defensive side of the ball has been LeBron, Noah. He has stepped it up this year in defense, just as far as an effort standpoint. Every possession, I'm seeing him sit down, play defense. He's in the lanes. He's grabbing boards, outlet passes. I'm telling you, man, he's locked in this year.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to hint to there with defensive side of the basketball, and even with a serviceable center like Jackson Hayes. JJ has put these guys in positions that it's hard to fail, right? Like when you're playing with Luka, you're playing with LeBron. If you set a high screen for one of those two guys, get your ass to the rim and be ready for a lob. Like that's what those two. If the guy that's guarding you comes to step up in the lane, simple as that, you're getting a lob over the top. If not, try and seal your defender. Let Luka, LeBron get to the basket, and if they all push back for the lob, both those guys are able to hit the mid-range jump shot. So it's very hard for like a guy like Jackson Hayes in a role where he has to score 10 or 15 a night. He doesn't have to. All he has to do is get rebounds, and when they throw it up at the rim, go get it. Like that's all. That's as simple as the center position is there. Like you say with Mark Williams, it would have been a little bit. It would have definitely been more electric in LA because he's definitely a bigger lob threat, a vertical lob threat than those guys, in my opinion. So I do think you will see eventually that catch up to them, right? Because they don't have that scoring threat. I think Zubac, you saw last night, Zubac had like 30 points because they have no defensive center in there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens down the stretch when you have to play like Jokic in a 7-game series, or you got to play Zubac in a 7-game series. You got to play a center that can actually have a scoring threat on the other side rather than playing a team of lesser center like you usually do in the NBA.
And that's kind of the problem for them, and why for them to be successful down the stretch, it's going to rely a lot on the play of Jackson Hayes. Some of those top teams in the West, Noah, like you already said, Zubac with the Clippers, they're actually farther back than the Lakers in the standings. But, outside of Zach Edey in that Memphis spot at 3, right? Isaiah Hartenstein, center for the Thunder, really good center. Offense at times runs through him because he's a really good facilitator. I'm blanking right now on who's that 2 seed, but Jokic, yeah, sorry, the Denver Nuggets, yeah, no explanation needed. I won't even go into that. So the play of Jackson Hayes, and it's good that he's getting this run and an extended, starting player minutes, because they're going to need him down the stretch at minimum to be a rim protector. you have to have an elite, rim protector come playoff time to have a force inside.
Unless you're playing the Celtics. If you
Unless you're
make it
playing
to
the
the
Celtics.
championship, you're gonna get. I mean, they're gonna shoot 83, so you're okay. You can. They're not coming at the rim much.
Yeah, Celtics another episode. I mean, last night they were up 25-3 in the
Yeah,
first quarter against the Cavaliers. I mean, Jason Tatum, the superstar of our league, is telling them to get the hell out of Boston, and then they come back and beat them. So, jeez, man. But
yeah, definitely another episode in that. Do you have anything else to cover on the Lakers with Luka and all this havoc that's in the
I'll touch
Western
real quick. I
Conference?
mean, they've also gotten really good play out of Rui Hachimura, former top 10 pick from Gonzaga, who they traded for from Washington. He's kind of been outside of obviously Reeves, LeBron, and Luka has been a consistent option for them. So down the stretch, man, first off, stay healthy. I really want to see them fully healthy going into 7-game playoff series with JJ Redick, who I think should be in contention for Coach of the Year, if not the favorite. I haven't looked at that, but I would imagine he's got to be somewhere up near the top 3. I seriously think this team can make some noise in the West come playoff time, barring no injuries. Just to recap it, I hate that the Mark Williams trade fell through because I would feel really confident about them if he was there. But I'm telling you, man, you know how things are going to get when LeBron. You know how things are going to get with LeBron when it comes playoff time. I think Luka's got some sour taste in his mouth for the way that the Mavericks treated him and got rid of him. So I think we're going to be seeing some different Laker ball in playoffs, man.
Yeah, would definitely agree with that. It'll be interesting to see. Like I said, I think that's what I heard the commentator say last night. I think a month or a month and a half until playoff time starts. So it'd be really interesting to see the NBA. That's usually when I tune into the NBA the most because it's a long season, just like the MLB. MLB doubles it, obviously, but just looking into it, it's hard to. It's just like a lot like college basketball. There's a lot of games. It's hard to keep up with on everyday motion. But I mean, this is something that we felt like we had to get out here because the Lakers are definitely a lot of the teams in the Western Conference who thought like, oh man, this is going to be a walk to the Western Conference Finals. I don't think they think that anymore.
No, for sure. And we'll wrap it up with this before we end it. How good is sports, man? Sports are good when the Celtics are good and the Lakers are good in the NBA, and then you jump over like the college side of things when St. John's is good, like
Duke,
New
when
York,
Duke's
LA,
good,
Duke, all the I mean,
all the
we're
big
getting a really
market
good
teams.
all the big market, big school, big value names. I think as some of these seasons come to a close, it'll just be fun to sit back and watch it all unravel. Man, it'd be the best going against the best. So I'm looking forward to it. But as always, man, appreciate you guys watching and like, comment, subscribe, comment anything you guys want to see us cover or anything like that. And that's all I got, man. Lakers, real contenders.
Yes, sir.